A novel approach to indexing irises in large databases is presented, leveraging the intrinsic dimension of key portions of enrolled irises. By measuring the intrinsic dimension to be approximately 4, principal components analysis, PCA, can map these portions to a four-dimensional intrinsic space. This enables efficient identification of iris images by searching the neighborhood of their key portion's location in the 4D space, typically resulting in a correct match after comparing to only a few % of the database. In contrast, previous solutions, such as the Siamese neural network approach proposed by Aurora et al., map normalized iris images to 1024-bit binary feature vectors. The present method offers a simpler and more efficient alternative, reducing the computational complexity and resources required for iris identification. The paper also investigates the robustness of iris code and related methods against various types of noise and variations, highlighting their limitations in preserving neighborhood similarity. The proposed approach demonstrates improved performance and accuracy in the face of these challenges, making it a promising solution for large-scale iris recognition applications. The research utilizes high-quality iris images from the ND Cross-Sensor Iris 2013 dataset, comprising over 28,000 images from 650 individuals, captured using the LG 4000 iris sensor. The images have a high resolution, exceeding ISO standards, and exhibit excellent sharpness and signal-to-noise ratio. The dataset was filtered to remove inconsistent metadata and images with opaque contact lenses, resulting in 29,792 eye images. The research was conducted using Python 3.9.12 in JupyterLab 3.4.4 on a robust gaming laptop with 32 GB of RAM. Two software tools were employed: Python open-source research code for segmentation and normalization of iris images by Adam Chaika et al., and Scikit Dimension for intrinsic dimension estimation. The algorithm overview involves processing the iris images as follows: segmentation and normalization into 29,2464 by 512 normalized irises, selecting a 16 by 256 key portion of each normalized iris, and preprocessing the key portion images to normalize pixel values, discard images with specular reflection, and mitigate high-frequency noise. The resulting 28,749 key portion images are averaged to reduce noise, and the intrinsic dimension of the set is measured to be approximately 4 using the correlation dimension algorithm. A four-dimensional space is defined using PCA, and the average key portion images are mapped into this space to generate an enrolled intrinsic iris code, IIC, for each of the 1350 different eyes. For each of the 28,749 key portion image samples, the query sample IIC is generated by mapping to the 4D space, and a search is performed in an increasing neighborhood around the query sample IIC until the enrolled IIC from the same eye is found. The proportion of average key portion images needed to be checked before the search is completed is recorded. This section of the research paper delves into the segmentation and normalization of iris images for biometric identification. The Python code employed in the study, based on the work by Chaika et al., utilizes a neural network called CCNet to identify and segment the iris pixels from the original image. Circles are then fitted to the inner and outer boundaries of the segmented iris, and a 64 by 512 normalized iris image is computed using the rubber sheet model proposed by John Dogman. To enhance the segmentation process, several heuristic parameters were tuned to optimize CCNet for high-quality images of live people. Adjustments were made to trim away dark pupil pixels and bright sclera pixels that may be included in the normalized iris image due to imperfect fitting. The normalized iris image is then processed to select and preprocess a key portion for indexing a large database of irises and their feature vectors. This key portion, outlined in the upper left of Figure 3, comes from a C-shaped section of the iris below the pupil that is almost always visible and unobstructed. The key portion images undergo preprocessing steps including normalization, discarding images with saturated or near saturated pixels, and mitigating high-frequency noise through spatial filtering. This results in 28,749 key portion images of the 1350 different eyes. An example of a preprocessed key portion image is shown in Figure 4. To minimize the effect of variation in multiple images of the same eye, the average of all key portion images of the same eye is calculated to represent the inherent structure on that portion of each eye. An example of one of the 1350 results from the same eye as Figure 4 is given in Figure 5. Finally, the paper discusses the estimation of intrinsic dimension for a dataset, which can be thought of as the number of variables needed in a minimal representation of the data. In signal processing of multi-dimensional signals, the intrinsic dimension of the signal is the minimum number of parameters needed to describe the signal. The paper uses the correlation dimension method to estimate the intrinsic dimension of the key portion images, providing a quantitative measure of the complexity of the iris patterns. The application of complex signal processing techniques to analyze the near-infrared reflectivity of the human iris for identity recognition is discussed. Noise suppression is emphasized to enhance the signal-to-noise ratio. The correlation dimension algorithm is employed to estimate the intrinsic dimension of iris signals, which is found to be 4. This dimensionality is used to map iris images into a lower dimensional intrinsic iris code, IIC, space for efficient indexing. The performance of this indexing method is evaluated by calculating the penetration rate, which is found to be 3.0%. Iris recognition relies on feature vector indexing and matching using iris code. Efficient indexing of large databases is achieved through linear PCA dimension reduction, which reduces the feature space to 4 numerical indices. However, the concept of intrinsic dimension suggests that linear PCA might not be optimal for mapping to this intrinsic dimension of 4. This raises the possibility that nonlinear methods, such as convolutional autoencoder neural networks or 4D self-organizing maps, could improve indexing performance by better capturing the underlying structure of the data. Linear PCA's efficiency stems from its ability to reduce the dimensionality of the feature space, enabling rapid matching and identification. Nevertheless, the intrinsic dimension concept implies that the underlying data may exhibit a more complex structure, which linear PCA might not fully capture. Nonlinear methods, by contrast, can learn and represent more intricate relationships within the data. The potential benefits of nonlinear methods are rooted in their capacity to adapt to the intrinsic dimension of the data. Convolutional autoencoder neural networks, for instance, can learn hierarchical representations of the data, while 4D self-organizing maps can preserve the topological structure of the feature space. By leveraging these capabilities, nonlinear methods may enhance the accuracy and efficiency of iris recognition systems. The exploration of nonlinear methods for iris recognition indexing offers promising avenues for future research. By comparing the performance of linear and nonlinear methods, researchers can gain insights into the optimal approaches for large-scale iris recognition systems. Ultimately, this investigation has the potential to improve the reliability and efficiency of biometric identification systems.